Guys, it's LPL here, and today we'll be discussing about the whole Five Nights at Freddy's
Great
Secret of the Mimic.
atmosphere.
Yeah, perfect timing, Springtrap. But I'm gonna be playing Dead by Daylight while I discuss about what we have experienced from Secret of the Mimic. And I honestly had to think through after I was done with the recording because there was a lot to take in. But there I had to think like a few things, and there was answers from this game saying that the first thing is the box mexes. I might butcher the hell out of that, but that is Fiona, but an AI Fiona. Because what I didn't notice when I did the ending the first time with the prototype and everything, there was a sun. I didn't notice it because I was like looking left and right and see what is going on because that box is from Ruin DLC. Um, then when we did the game, that's when I was connecting the dots. And then when we went back down there, I was like, oh my god,
None of you
this is
stand a
Fiona.
chance.
And with all of that, it was just like I connected the dots, and then I had to start like thinking of like everything. And like with like how Fiona was just like something that is very interesting, and it's talking about it's mainly like with Fiona is something like she was following orders, because when we talked about the whole thing, when we got there, we were not like speaking to people, like actual people at all. It was all Fiona, like only speaking to the player that we play as. That's one. Two, it was just like we were basically just following Fiona's orders. Well, damn. But so basically M2 is David, because with that ending it just showed like M2 is originally for David, and that's something that we got answered from. But the one thing that I did notice was that the recordings from the videos that David did, that it had Fiona's voice. That like the first one was Fiona. Jeez, that was horrible, bro. But originally it was Fiona. But then there's like all the tape recordings and all that. Basically, I think the robot was a mixed personality kind of thing. The reason why I say that is because if you look, it switches personalities. But when we look closely at a few things, there was two separate endoskeletons. The reason why I say that, when we look at the creepy looking prototype with all the parts in and all that, it has a different endoskeleton. It has totally different structure from the endoskeleton. And that's why I think it's like there's two mimics, or whatever you call them, M1 and 2. And with that, M1 is being controlled by Fiona, because that was hers, and that's, I'm gonna get to that part, but it's very interesting because of how it is. I think when David died, it was like Fiona saying, oh, we could just make another one, like how you did with me. Edwin was getting annoyed that he was saying that. And after all that, Fiona still built him, so there was an M2. And this is honestly kind of all answered. I'm just doing a whole rundown at this point, but the crazy part is, it's like if when Edwin attacked M1, like M2 followed Edwin's footsteps, because all he saw was rage and just breaking the endoskeleton. So he's basically copying. It's just kind of like from the books, to be honest, but now this is in game, and Edwin was just slowly losing his mind from all the people, William Afton, Henry. And then he suffers the consequences of just falling. Like, we don't know what happened fully, because there's the tape of M2 talking about like him fixing his own legs. And that is a crazy thing, because I think he fell, or something happened at least, and we don't know if he's dead or alive, but I might have a theory on it, but it's, again, very interesting to figure out. But M2 is David, and the box is Fiona, but also controls M1, which is that prototype looking thing with the Bonnie-like head, the hook, and all that. The one thing I did notice was the room. The reason why I kept saying what, the reason why I've been saying what this whole time is because it looks almost exactly like FNAF 4. It looks like the FNAF 4 room, kinda, like almost exact. Doesn't have like the two typical doors or anything, but it looks similar. So it basically says that William Afton got the blueprints. I wouldn't say blueprints, but like more of something that okay, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, but let's hit him, break this generator. This guy's so strong. And whatever happened to Edwin, William Afton basically takes everything. Like, William and Henry took the blueprints, like everything from just design, prototypes, everything. And since that happened, it's just now Fazbear's stuff now. And that we don't know what happened. Oh, that's not good. It's just like if when Edwin, whatever happened to Edwin, something happened. And M2 and Fiona, like M2 is kind of unstable, but Fiona has been trying to protect the blueprints, which means it's just been Fiona and M2 kind of like a family thing. And it just proves that Fiona loves Edwin, which is still kind of crazy. Like, honestly, like, I know it's all AI kind of thing, but after seeing all that and Fiona still follows Edwin's rules are just kind of insane. It's so insane. But it just shows that she still followed the order, whatever you would call this AI. And she leaves it, does she? Yeah, she left. Yeah, I got 3 out of 1. What? I'm sorry, what? How? We gotta go down. You're not going anywhere. He tried, but he's not surviving this.
There is
You
no
stay. Actually, there we go. Long story short, there's 2 endoskeletons. One was the prototype, one is David, which is M2. Fiona is Max's. We don't survive, except for that one ending. Oh, I messed up big time. Yeah, but basically, there is a lot more to be tampered with. It's like it's very different from the different games because it was pretty much straightforward, and it gave us the answers, but still led to some questions, like what happened to Fiona, like why she died, or what happened to Edwin. We don't really have an answer on that, but that's where my theory comes in. And the one big thing that everyone's talking about is which endings, like the canon event. So, like, let's start with the first one that I was supposed to do, I think, but we accidentally did the other ending, giving the schematics. But with that ending, I don't think it's true. That's not the true ending, because the actual people, Phasmer Entertainment, fired him because they didn't get the schematics. And that just proves that Fiona was basically speaking over. And you see M2 in there and he dies. Actually, he brings him and then stuffs him in the suit with Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. So that makes it like he's kind of following the stuffing in the suits thing. And it's basically kind of like Fiona doesn't want M2 to kill, doesn't want him to kill, or it. So that's not the true ending, because they never get the schematics, and here's Ruin DLC. They have the mimic there. And then let's talk about the second ending, the secret one, which is the good ending, because this is the one that was the most weirdest thing, and it's like it just blew my mind when I first saw it, and it was like, what? Like, you heard, like, in the video, I was just like, what? I thought it was kind of funny in my opinion, but it's so insane that the room looks so familiar to FNAF. I had a burp, my bad. It looked so similar to FNAF 4. And then with the whole David thing, like, yeah, M2 was David, and then he's just went to bed. Like, that's not, I don't think it's the true ending. It just shows that, like, Fiona built David, again, from the tapes. And it shows that there's two endoskeletons because of the prototype in M2, M1 and 2. And the one ending that is probably going to be the canon one is the first ending I did. Because you see Fazbear's Entertainment, like the prototype, like you see Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and you see the spring locks, which is very interesting because they have Bud, funny reference to like Sparky, maybe, I could be wrong, like it looked too similar for like those fan theories. And then we have a younger version or older version of Montgomery, which that one was interesting. And then Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. That was a big wake-up call because it's like Edwin built all that, and the reason I say that because in a note, Edwin made the spring locks, and it was water resistant. That's the big key moment because, like, with all of us FNAF nerds in that situation, spring locks are kind of like the do not mess with kind of suits because, well, look at the guy in front of us. That's William Afton inside of a spring lock suit, dead. Well, alive, dead, but yeah, that's what happened to him. But with Edwin, he said it was like it's water resistant and it works well. That's a very big game changer, and that's like, huh, this guy knew what he was doing, and William kind of just changed it all up because it looked ugly, it said. Like the suits, like Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. And I was like, well, like, he's not wrong, but would you rather be dead? Because, like, the spring locks, no, that's just insane. And there was a lot in that situation going through my mind with the Mexes, aka Fiona, then the like everything. It just shows that the whole secret bunker thing is the true ending because like everything burns down to the ground, and then you see M2 grab the schematics and just walk away. And I feel like that might be like leading to a sequel to it because he walks away and doesn't kill the guy. He just wanted the schematics. And the funny thing is, Fiona, like the Mexes, is still down there. That's the interesting part. I think that's where like the whole Help Wanted To thing kind of shows up, showing like someone taking the Mexes. But for all that, I believe that's the true ending. And then here comes in with the theories, or like a few more facts. Edwin is, again, gone, and after all that, William sees an opportunity, and he was a jerk from the start, because from the mail, it was like, oh, we pretty much, like, own everything and this and that, we might as well take all your stuff. Like, something like that. I couldn't remember most of it, but the cool part is that the interesting part is Edwin talked to Henry a lot. And the reason why I say that, because there's a message telling Henry, and he has a nickname for him called Hen. So they were close friends. And after when Edwin died. You couldn't see me do the quotation marks, but died. He didn't know what happened, and William just took all the stuff, and Henry was part of it. And the funny thing is, if you remember FNAF 6, he mentions that he has regrets in the past. Like, for 2017, FNAF nerds thought it was like her daughter being killed. Like, yeah, that would be definitely one. But the biggest one would probably be for Edwin, because he was part of that whole thing. So, like, there would be that and Charlie dying, which is something that makes a lot more sense now. But, that's, like, one of the bigger facts. And then, this is where the weird part shows up, and this is the one with the moon. When I was looking back through my video, there was blueprints for the moon guy. There's no endoskeleton, it's just a costume. So, someone was in that suit, because that can't be used as an animatronic endoskeleton. It's only for a person. And that's where the theories come in. And I got two. The first one is someone possessed the suit. And the reason why I say that, because when Edwin went crazy or something happened that caused the elevators to go off. And there was a night guard. And he got stuck down there and starved to death. So, he's down there and just basically just starved to death, which is kind of messed up. And then there's two people that were curious of why, like, the elevator is not working. And basically, people went down there and all that, or tried to figure out. Oh, I still got the guy. That's crazy. Get out of here. But with that, I honestly think that. Oh, that's annoying. I hate when they have that perk. It's so annoying. But people say that it could be like that night guard that possessed
Is no
the suit. But I don't think that, because that's just kind of like maybe attempting William to test the whole suit possession thing. But like, he wouldn't know that, because he's not the guy that, like, he's not like the psychopath murderer at the time. That's one. And two, he's already a jerk to begin with. So you really can't see that happening yet, but that's like how I thought it, because it was the messages. And the second theory is people think it's Edwin because of the game. Like, when I collected all the stuff, it showed Moon kind of like showing as the father, because when you like go through the games, you kind of see. Oh, nice shot on me. But
don't move.
And like the owl mask like makes the Moon cry. And that's one thing I noticed that was very interesting. I hate these survivors. Are you kidding me? Like, it's these characters that drive me nuts. No, I'm going after this girl. So I'm making sure that that was easy. But with that, people think it's right, I was repeating myself. But like with this and that, and like the owls representing as David, because you see a grave of a baby owl, which says that that's representing as David, and the sun is Fiona. So it kind of makes sense, because the moon is represented as Edwin, because the whole mask thing, and it's very interesting. Oh right, I didn't hook you the second time because of her. At least she's not here to get us. And that has like more of the leading evidence too, which is, how about that? And that all of that, it just shows of the next. It's kind of funny that I kind of get distracted from these things and trying to explain like, the whole thing. But it's like, again, like the whole thing just gave us answers. Like it gave like answers to everything.
Nobody will save you.
And it's weird. We don't usually get stuff like that. But with that, it, like with the other two endings, it does give us answers on pretty much like what happened in this game, in the secret. And like it helped us figure out like 90% of like FNAF actually, and it again, it's very useful. Like it basically described that William Afton was a jerk to Edwin, and he was a money-busy guy. And it just shows that he was making Edwin slowly go crazy, which people didn't notice. And then just he lost his mind. And that's why, again, people think Edwin's in the moon, because he went crazy. But it's something that people are still theorizing, and I'm like thinking through, because yeah, it showed like examples and showing that the moon is kind of represented as Edwin, but you don't fully know that if he's in that suit or not. Like, yes, it is a suit for people specifically, but you don't know that. I'm not letting him live. Yeah, no. And with all of that,
I'm so sorry.
it feels like it's leading to another prequel DLC for Fiona, or a sequel for Henry, because Henry was close to Edwin.
Show everyone.
And it might be showing like them collecting all the stuff and seeing the mimic. Something like that, or the box. Who knows? And I wouldn't mind both because it will answers like Fiona, like what happened to Fiona and everything. People say that she died in the fire from Fall Fest, which it kind of makes sense because she is like sun. And the other funny thing is with that secret ending, when we built that moon statue, it's representing as M2 rebuilding himself because the legs broke. Or M1 or one of those two. And after that, it's just showing him going through all the levels and just finding Edwin. And it's insane, and it does answer a lot. And the funny thing is, a friend of mine, Almighty, and we were having this conversation about the chest from FNAF 4. It's an AI computer. That's how we think it now because it's William collect a bunch of stuff from Edwin's house. Like he could have like a AI piece from M2 or the blueprints. It could be that, or it's something that's insane, and it's like all of this is insane. The funny thing is, when you go to the computer, unlock that little secret bookshelf area, there's still blueprints to that, and you weren't able to go in there. I think you are able to look at it now, maybe, since we unlocked all the 3 endings. I could check on that and see if it does. If not, then we would never know, but it wouldn't hurt enough to try. But that is everything that I have described. Like, to sum it up, M2 is David, the Bach, like Mexes is Fiona. We don't know what happened to Edwin. William Afton and Henry basically took everything from Edwin and redesigned it. And basically they didn't do the FNAF 1 pizzeria simulator for the very first thing because there's no way they can do that. Because I wouldn't follow the timeline. So I think when they did the kind of like the FNAF 4 and then FNAF 2, I think after those 2 pizzerias went down, I think they used the pizzeria idea that Edwin did, and that's where FNAF 1 takes in. And again, that's where they kind of like took everything from there. So, and that funny thing about the sun and moon, that's like sun drop or moon drop, whatever they're called in Security Breach. That's kind of like interesting too because they use that guy, like they use sun and moon from Security Breach, and it's like, wow, they basically just fused 2 different animatronics together, or 2 different things. It's insane. And like there's so much things, like they took so much like stuff to the point they redesigned it with their own kind of stuff, like the staff bots, Big Top, which was apparently the music's name, like the name for Music Man. Jackie, that's an interesting one because when it was getting messed up in the process from like we being chased, it started to look like more of the puppet because of the tears in the eyes. Same thing with the staff bots in that one area when it was like those creepy ones. I think Henry got like a little look at that and then redesigned it as the puppet. Who knows? But I don't know, like how much have I been talking? 34 minutes. If there's anything I left out, just leave stuff in the comments and I'll like respond to them or make a part 2. But yeah, it basically answered everything, but not a lot for like certain things. Kind of like for like Fiona, for example, and Edwin. What happened to both of them? And I feel like that's gonna be like showing up in a sequel for Henry or a prequel for Fallfest or even part 2 of Ruined DLC because that was left in a cliffhanger. But yeah, that's everything that I thought of and figured out from yesterday and today. Well, I hope you have a good day, guys, and listen to other people's theories because it's good to know and you guys can help me out. Adios. Leave your thoughts in the comments so I could maybe see like how that goes. Adios.